everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. As always, thank you for joining me and let me know where you're joining me from. So type in the comments where you're joining me from. Type and let me know if you hear me. So if you can hear me, type a 1. If you can hear me, type a 2. If you can hear me and see me, type a 1 and a 2. I always like to make sure, especially since I had that one LinkedIn issue that one time. So I always like to make sure y'all can hear me and see me. Um, but thank you guys for joining me. I see Dozens of Destiny Raleigh and Dozens of Destiny on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. And Raleigh, so you're right down the street from me. I'm in Wake Forest. So we're pretty close to each other. So yeah, everybody keep the comments coming. And today, for those of you who don't know, for the month of November, I went live every single day and I covered 30 aspiring CRA problems throughout the 30 days. So one problem every single day. And in case you missed it, don't worry. I see Wanda. I see Ola Dunny. Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. So thank you guys for letting me know. And I'm gonna, okay. I'm on LinkedIn. Okay, I can see it now. Kiana, thank you. Raja Shikar, thank you. Thank you everybody for letting me know. But for those of you who missed it, the replay will stay up on YouTube and Facebook, the CRA Solution, the Facebook page. I'm not sure for how long, but on LinkedIn and Walisha, hey Walisha, it'll be on LinkedIn. It'll stay on LinkedIn, but YouTube and Facebook, I'm not sure for how long. So you definitely want to catch that before it goes down, or just in general, because like I said, it'll be on YouTube. But you definitely want to catch that if you're looking to land your first CRA job and you are struggling. So I covered 30 problems, that the most common problems that I see, and I also give you the solution for each of those problems. So check that out. Now, everybody, as always, this is the time for you to ask all of your questions. So go ahead and drop your questions in the comments. I do have some questions. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really bad about responding to YouTube comments. So I went on YouTube and I pulled up a lot of the questions from YouTube that I've been missing. So I'll cover today. I'm going to focus on covering the questions that come through live and then the YouTube questions. So if you have any questions, this is the time to drop your questions in the comment section and I will answer it live. You can ask me all of your aspiring CRA questions. So all you clinical research professionals who are struggling, don't know how to land your first CRA job, frustrated, hopeless, ready to give up, lost, confused, this is your time to ask me your questions. So until I see questions come through, I'm going to start with my list. So this question came from Desiree Joy, and all of these will be on from YouTube. And so her question is, I have 20 years of healthcare experience as a radiation therapist. I want to transfer my job skills over into pharmaceuticals. I'm currently working on my BS, but still have another year to go. Will a CRO consider me before I complete my degree? Yes, Desiree, they absolutely will. So the degree is like, you'll see it listed as a requirement, but there are workarounds. So if you have a strong background, like 20 years of healthcare experience, and you're a radiation therapist, and you're, in the process of pursuing it, you only have a year left to go, of course, absolutely, they will consider you. So don't feel like you need to wait to apply. And that goes for people who maybe don't have the 20 years. Maybe you have less than her. Maybe you haven't even started a bachelor's, but still apply. The worst thing that they can do is say no. And it's going to always go back to BMS, branding, marketing, and selling yourself. So if you have your BMS together, you can really do anything. The degree is not going to stop you from getting a breaking into the industry. So the next question comes from Dozens of Destiny. How do you get monitoring experience if everyone requires that you have monitoring experience? You get what I'm saying? Okay, so to that question, well, first of all, Destiny, and a lot of people too, because this is, and I want to address this question. Take the time to really address this question, because a lot of people have this question, and it's like over and over and over and over again. This is like the most commonly asked question, right? How do you get monitoring experience to get the job, because all the jobs require it? Well, that's actually not true. That's a myth. So every entry level CRA job does not require you to have monitoring experience in order for you to get the job. That's not based in fact. That's not based in truth. That's not the reality of the situation. Now, there may be some roles, some companies that say, yes, you absolutely have to have monitoring experience before you can get this job with this company, this specific job with this specific company. And that's fine. Those aren't the jobs that you're looking for. You're looking for the jobs that will allow you the opportunity, that are willing to give you that opportunity to become a monitor without the monitoring experience. And trust me, that's the majority of the entry level jobs. The majority of them do not require monitoring experience, simply because 99% of the monitors did not have monitoring experience before they actually became a monitor. And I have yet to meet one. And so if you're a CRA and you're listening, and you yourself got monitoring experience before you actually landed your first CRA job, or if you know someone that got monitoring experience before they landed their CRA job, let us know, because I have yet to hear somebody dispute me or say otherwise. But I always leave room for, the small percentage. So that's why I say 99%. But and dozens, I see some questions coming through, but you absolutely do not need to have monitoring experience. You just have to focus on branding, marketing, and selling yourself. BMS, like literally. And there's my clients that are testaments to that. Myself, I'm testament to that. And then even people that follow me and just listen to my advice, and they haven't even enrolled in my coaching program, and it happens for them too. So literally focusing on branding, marketing, and selling yourself. Once you have that basic level industry, clinical research industry experience that I talk about in my podcast, I've talked about in other Q&A sessions. Once you have the right clinical research experience that they're looking for, and you don't have to have years and years either. Some people say, well, I need to be a coordinator for 2 years. I need to be a CTA for 2. No, you don't. If you have a couple of weeks, a month, the industry needs CRAs so badly. And there's plenty of people who have no experience that have gotten in. Let's be clear about that. There's people that have come from other industries, or people that have just graduated, and they were able to break into the CRA role. So it's going to boil down to branding, marketing, and selling yourself. So how do you get monitoring experience if everyone requires that you have it? The answer to that question, Destiny, is that you don't need monitoring experience to get your first CRA job, and everyone does not require it. So that's actually a problem that you think you have. That's not really even a problem. You don't need to worry about getting monitoring experience. You need to focus on branding, marketing, and selling yourself. And I see a couple questions come through, so I'm going to take those. Adekunle, please correct me if I'm saying your name wrong, but I'm a CRC RN. How can I land a role as a CRA? So same thing that I've been saying with all the other questions so far. You got to focus on branding, marketing, and selling yourself. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, please go check out, I think it's day 1, day 2. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's day 1, 2, and 3, where I talk about that on the 30 over 30 series. So check that out. And let me see. Yeah, day 1, 2, 3, really the whole series. If I'm being real, you need to check out all 30 days. But I think I dig deep into breaking down BMS on like the first week, the first 7 days. So check it out. That's what you need to focus on. That is how you're going to land your CRA role. And you, since you already and I'm telling this to you, Adekunle, and let me know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but I'm saying this to you because you already have the basic clinical research experience that I'm referring to. I don't even have to see your resume. I don't even have to have any details. I already know that you have the right experience that they're looking for already. So that's literally all you need to focus on right now. And then Dozens of Destiny, I see your question. Do you still offer help with LinkedIn profile? Yes, that is a part of my coaching program. I do a full audit of your resume. If you don't have a cover letter, we create it. If you have a cover letter, we audit that. The same thing with the LinkedIn profile, and we ramp everything. We tailor it to your specific unique story, so brand it, and then I work with you to market and sell yourself. So yes, I still have that offer, Destiny. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about it, you can visit aspiringcra.com and also book a sales call with me so that we can see if we're a good fit and you're ready to get started. And then I see Raja Shikar. Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. If a subject participated in a study without informed consent, what type of deviation is it, and what should a CRA do in this situation? If a subject participated in a study without an IC, that is a major protocol deviation that needs to be reported and escalated immediately. And all study procedures, assessments need to be stopped immediately. And when I say escalated and reported, meaning to the sponsor, to your CRA, to the trial manager, to everybody, everybody needs to be alerted. The patient needs to be notified. The patient needs to be, we need to figure out, you're going to have to do a cap and figure out why was this patient participating without being consented. The site will probably need to be shut down for a while because that is a major issue. And that should never happen. Has it happened? Yes, everything, some type of major deviation has happened at every single site, but that is a major problem. Raja Shikar. And then someone asked, what's the YouTube channel? The YouTube channel is Jasmyn Adams Aspiring CRA TV. So check it out. And then Adekunle say, you said it right. Thanks. I'm glad I got it right. I always try to get everybody's names right. So keeps the questions coming. I love questions, so keep the questions coming. And let me go back to my list. So next question is from Tiramala. I hope I'm getting that right. So CRA, or I think they're trying to say CRO or R&D and pharma company, which will have a good future. I think the person is trying to ask, correct me if I'm wrong, if a CRO or pharma company is better, like which one would be a better career. And you can literally create any type of career. You could create the career of your dreams either way. What is neither one side is neither good nor bad. It's going to be up to you and what you prefer, which is why I say with the branding piece, you really have to get clear on your values, your philosophies, your goals, your missions, because when you get clear on all of those things, then that will guide you and tell you whether you want to go the CRO side or the pharma side. And you don't have to know it all in the beginning, y'all, either. Some of these things develop over time. I didn't know every single detail of my career from day one. It kind of like evolves naturally as long as you're putting yourself out there and you're exposing yourself and you're investing in your future. As long as you do those things, it'll kind of unfold naturally and you don't have to force it. So you can literally go on either side, work anywhere at the site level, CRO, pharma, biotech. You can work for the IRB, you can work for the government and the FDA. You can literally create any type of career in the industry that you want, the career of your dreams, either way. So next question is from Tia White. So Tia says, can you please give me some advice about breaking into the industry? I have worked in the medical industry for more than 28 years. I have worked as a medical assistant, phlebotomist, and I've been an operations supervisor and trainer for a lab. I have a 4-year degree in business, and I completed a CRA course. Part of my job as a supervisor was monitoring and auditing several clinics. I have a lot of experience, but essentially still struggling. Okay, same answer. Y'all gonna get tired of hearing me say brand marketing, selling yourself. Same answer. Once you, and I have to keep saying this because y'all see I keep getting the same questions, right? Variation of it, but essentially the same thing. You have to focus on branding, marketing, and selling yourself. You really do. And it's a hard concept to grasp for some people, anyways, because especially if you're used to operating the old way of getting jobs and the old way of job searching, because it was literally more so about, and one person that I spoke to, this was really something that really touched her on an emotional level, because she said she doesn't understand why it can't just be all about the degrees and the skills. Like she had like 2 or 3 degrees, like a bachelor's and master's, I think some type of doctor level degree. She had some industry experience, and she was like, I just don't understand why they can't just see what I got and then that, that's enough. Well, kind of, newsflash, guys, it's a lot of people out there that have degrees. You're not the only one. It's a lot of people out there that did that extra training, did that extra certificate. You're not the only one. And I'm saying newsflash because I had to say it to myself. I was thinking the same thing when I graduated from graduate school. It's like, well, duh. Of course they're going to hire me. This should be easy pick, no brainer. But it's not that way. You really have to know how to brand market and sell yourself. You have to show them. You have to be able to tell your unique story and show them why you are qualified to be a CRA, why they should hire you, not just a CRA, but a CRA specifically to work for their company. What do you have that they want? What do you have that they need? What do you have that they can use to solve their problem of filling this CRA role? You have to take responsibility, ownership, and you have to be the one to show them and convince them. And that's where branding, marketing, and selling yourself comes in at. That's the only way. Just having these pieces of paper, because that's what it boils down to, right? Having the degrees, having the certificates, all the little trainings and stuff, it boils down to a piece of paper. That's not enough. That's not enough. Maybe at one point in time it was, but that's not enough. And I have to keep saying it because I get these questions over and over again, and it's a really hard concept for a lot of people to grasp. But you really, guys, have to focus on branding, marketing, and selling yourself, which is why I did that 30 over 30 series. So if you're like completely lost, or if you're completely like whatever, you don't know what you're talking about, just check out the series, just try it out, and just see what type of outcome you have. If you've been searching and you haven't had any luck, you haven't made any progress, then what do you have to lose? What you're doing right now isn't working. So why not just try it out? Check it out. It's on YouTube, it's on LinkedIn, it's on Facebook, the CRA Solution. Check it out. Follow through each day and follow through with the process. So next question. It is from K Jones. I have a double major bachelor's degree in liberal studies and business administration. I currently work as a remote customer service medical records agent. I've been doing my current job for almost 5 months now, and I'm wanting to start my career doing healthcare informatics. Is my degree acceptable to apply for a CRA position? Will my current experience get my foot in the door? Yes, your degree is definitely acceptable. That's another question I frequently get, is that people think you have to have a science degree, a healthcare degree, a clinical research degree. No, you do not. Having a bachelor's degree in liberal studies and business administration is perfectly fine. You're good to go. And then, will my current experience get my foot in the door? So yes, you working as a customer service medical records agent and then remotely, perfect. As long as you know how to brand that experience, market that experience, and sell that experience, you're good to go. Which is why I always got to bring you guys back to BMS, because that's truly, once you have experience, once you have the basic experience that I'm talking about, once you enter into the clinical research professional realm, you have everything that you need with regards to experience. Anyways, you just need to focus on branding, marketing, and selling yourself. So yes, to K Jones. And then I see another question came through with Raja Shakar. So how CRA can do budget negotiations, what points we need to consider when negotiating. In an interview, they asked when we're doing negotiations, there's a chance to lost the study in that situation. Can we do negotiations or not? So you're gonna have to be a little bit more specific. Are you asking about budget negotiating specifically between the site and the drug company, the sponsor, and the CRO? Or are you talking about negotiating your salary as an employee? So please be a little bit more specific with that question. And then so on to the next YouTube question. So let me see. Today, a recruiter, this is from Frederick Betts. Today, a recruiter from a major CRO contacted me inquiring if I was interested in pursuing my clinical research career as a CRA. I've been in the field for 10 years as a CRC and data coordinator. I'm detail oriented, but not just sure if being a CRA is for me. What would you say are 2 or 3 of the most challenging aspects for a person who is just starting out in this field? So, Frederick, that is going to depend on the individual. So, what might be challenging for me might not even phase you, right? You might see it as wonderful. But so I can only speak to what I'll tell you what my top 3 challenges were starting out as a CRA. So number 1 was the pace of everything. Everything is moving at an astronomically fast pace in terms of the training program that they put you through, when you get on a study, when you get assigned sites, when they expect for you to go out on the road or conduct visits. Like everything is just seemed like it just went by super fast. So they expect you to know a whole lot in a very, 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 very short period of time. So I would say the pace, how quickly everything moved, and then the amount of knowledge that they expect you to have starting out the gate. So luckily, I had experience as a coordinator, a CTA, in-house CRA, and luckily I had a strong entry-level clinical research, strong foundation, right? So when I went into the role, and then I also started out doing bench science at the lab. So I had that experience as well. So fortunately, I had all that experience because they expect for you to know a lot coming in as an entry-level CRA. They expect for you to know a lot. It's not just about monitoring, which a lot of people, it's ironic that people ask, how do you get monitoring experience? Because they want you to have monitoring experience. Monitoring, let me tell you, it's going to be the least of your worries. You have so much to do during a monitoring visit outside of monitoring that it kind of gets swept under the rug sometimes. You have to review the site's regulatory binders. So the ISF, right? You have drug accountability. You have the lab management piece. Depending on what type of study it is, you might need to go visit the lab directly and review all of the kits and look at all the requisitions and look at their storage logs. Like there's a lot of moving pieces with there. Depending on how many vendors, you might need to go visit an MRI clinic. They might have some satellite sites. Depending on what type of study it is, they might have some scales involved and then some raters. Like it can get pretty complicated with all the extra things that you need to be aware of, that you need to monitor, so to speak. It's not just about the data and source data verification of the data. Monitoring, a lot of people forget, includes a lot of it includes everything that it's involved at the site level for that particular study, for that particular site. And then that's just the site management piece. Then you have the in-house internal administrative things that you're responsible for, like writing reports, sending out letters, following up on queries, following up on action items, following up on protocol deviations, following up. It never ends. You have internal meetings that you have to attend and be a part of. Sites might need retraining. You have your expense reports that you have to do. You have internal training that you need to do on top of the study training. There's a lot of different moving pieces. So there's a lot of information that they expect for you to know at once. That's number 2. And then I would say number 3 would be the metrics. Most metrics at most companies are pretty tight. So in terms of the turnaround for reports, the turnaround for letters, the metrics in terms of like how many reports the final and draft need to be submitted and done on time, your training, all the metrics are pretty tight. And that's what's going to drive your performance and you fast tracking your career and you getting promoted to CRA 2 and 3 and senior and all those. Like the metrics are what they stay focused on. So sometimes those numbers can drive you crazy, especially if you're not coming from a place where metrics was literally driving everything. It drives most companies' revenue. It drives everything that you think about or do. So I would say the metrics too, because it's constantly a push to do this and do that and do this and do that, because they're constantly looking at numbers, not reading in between the lines about, oh yeah, maybe you missed this or didn't get this done on time, but that was because the trip report reviewer reviewed your report late, or maybe because you were on site every day the last 2 weeks straight. Like, they don't always look in between the lines and read and see big picture. They just focus on the numbers. So I would say that was number 3 for me. And then Roger Shikar, I see that you said the budget question was between the sponsor and the CRO. So I try not to get too lost in the weeds on this aspiring, because this is aspiring CRA Q A, right? So for people that are aspiring to be CRAs, they don't necessarily, they're just trying to get a job. They're not focused on the specifics. So I don't want to get too lost in the weeds on this particular question. And then also in the US, at least, CRAs aren't negotiating budgets. In other countries, in other parts of the world, I do realize that CRAs are a lot more involved with budget negotiations between the sponsor and the well, you said the sponsor and the CRO. So I was thinking that you said the sponsor and the site. So then that question is a little bit more confusing, because what do you mean when you say budget negotiations between sponsor and CRO? The CRAs will never be involved with that. Never. So I need you to be a little bit more specific with that. And then the next question, anybody else, please drop your questions in the comments. I'm trying to keep, and I see that you said yes. So yes, Raja Shikar, yes. Yes to what? But please keep your questions coming. Drop them in the comments, because we have about 4 more minutes. So I'm going to go through some more of these other questions before we hop off. So keep them coming. Raja Shakar, thanks. Okay. I think there's a delay when you respond versus when I see it. So give me a little bit more information, Raja Shakar, on what you mean between sponsor and CRO. But so the next question, it says Noble. That's the YouTube name. So is most of the travel within your state or out to a different state? It depends. So sometimes it could be within the state, it could be local. You could drive to the site, you could come home the same day. And then sometimes it could be out of the state. And then sometimes it could be out of the country, y'all. It's not always just within the same country either. You can also do international monitoring as a CRA. So it depends. And then Gatika Navani, your question is, I am a student in India, but I'm certain that I want to get into the clinical research industry abroad. Do you have any advice on what path I should take to accomplish this? So I myself am not an immigration specialist when it comes to navigating from outside of the U.S. into the U.S. However, I do have a podcast with Janvi Shah, and that's JANVISHAAH. And she actually, and let me see if I can find that podcast episode in real time and give you guys the link. She actually, she did it. She actually came from India over to the States. And she talks about how she did it all in the podcast. So if you're somebody outside of the country looking to come into the US as a CRA, check out that podcast episode. Let me put it in the comments for you guys. And keep your questions coming. I think it should go through. Okay. There you go. I'm not sure if it posted on LinkedIn. I'll have to check afterwards. It looks like it went on Facebook and YouTube. But anyways, keep your questions coming. So we're at almost at 7:30. I'm going to cover one more. Unless somebody else drops another question in the comments, I'm going to cover one more YouTube question. So this one again is, who is this question from? I can't tell who this question is from, but the question is, how do I get monitoring? So another question, how do I get monitoring experience to be a CRA? So same question. Y'all see a lot of people have the same question, the same mindset, the same thought process, that you need to have monitoring experience in order to become a CRA. And I cannot stress enough, y'all, for those of you who think you have no hope, no chance, you're ready to give up, you're frustrated, you are fine. You just have to focus on branding, marketing, and selling yourself. That is it. That's it. And if you don't believe me, just try it out. Try it out. Look at the 30 over 30 series. Try out everything that I suggest when it comes to revamping things and just see what happens. And then I see Raja Shakar, you have another question. Is CRA involved in protocol writing? Will you explain about protocol writing? So again, this is Aspiring CRA. This is mostly involved on career development and how can you get the CRA job. But to answer your question, no, I've never met a CRA that wrote the protocol. That's more so medical science liaisons sometimes might do it, medical monitors. It depends on the drug company, the pharmaceutical company, med device company. It depends on if they're doing it internally or if they've contracted a CRO or another vendor to do it. But no, CRAs are not writing protocols, at least not in the US. If somebody else has been a CRA that has written a protocol, please comment and let us know, because I've never seen it. And when I was a CRA anyways, if they asked me to write a protocol, I would politely have to decline. Okay, so I don't see any more questions, y'all. So we're gonna wrap it up for today. I wanna I like to try to get as many questions as I can in. And I wanted to my focus now is to try to answer them in real time. So if you do send me questions outside of the episodes, I will still put them on the list, but I like to now at least try to get them in real time. So if you have any questions after the fact, please send them over to me. I'll be more than happy to add them to the list and get them answered for you. But for those of you who are looking for a little bit more nurturing guidance on your CRA journey, you want support, you want to work with a coach, specifically me, I offer a 6-month coaching program where I help clinical research professional women confidently land their first CRA job offer, struggle and frustration free, all with no monitoring experience, all with no type of certification, CRA certifications, clinical research certifications, just simply through teaching you how to brand, market, and sell yourself. Now, the program includes an initial onboarding call where we immediately assess and revamp your resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile. So you get all that done right out the gate. And then you also get 6 months of high-level one-on-one private coaching sessions with me. So we meet every single week for 6 months. So not only do you get the revamp of all the things that you need, but then we're working closely together to not only help you land that job, but to fast track your career and ultimately create the career of your dreams. You also get immediate access to my on-demand curriculum filled with all the frameworks, all the templates, all the checklists, everything that you need to be successful on this CRA journey. You'll get direct messaging support from me, so we'll be able to communicate outside of the coaching calls. You'll get a bonus mock interview with a recruiter. You'll get courses on negotiating a high-paying offer and fast tracking your career. Once you land your CRA job, you also get a CRA career plan, career development plan, and so much more. So if you're ready to land your first CRA job offer and stop struggling by yourself, stop, spinning your wheels, wasting time, book a sales call with me to learn all about my one-on-one private coaching program on how I can help you. Just to visit aspiringcra.com. So I don't see any more questions that came through, but as always, guys, I love doing these lives. I love helping you all. If you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to send them to me. Tomorrow, I'm going live again. I actually have a special guest episode with Tiffany Ashton from Clinicentials. She'll be coming on and talking about all the services, all the products that they have to offer to help not only CRAs, but other clinical research professionals in general. So study coordinators, CTM, project managers, CTAs. They have a lot of products and services for all clinical research professionals. So she'll be on live. She'll be sharing all their products and services, and then you'll be able to speak with her directly and ask all of your questions directly. So you don't want to miss it. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be going live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So as always, it's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys have a great night.